Greetings and hello to another installment of Geeklies of the Storm, Road to Ranked. Today we're gonna chat about who I play, what I like, what I want to learn to like, and who the driver for on our um, wolf-shaped car, as always, is Phil Canada. Phil, how are you?
I'm doing great. I am very excited to talk about your roster.
Yes,
Because it's actually one of the things I most enjoy about this game is creating a roster and, deciding what you want to take into Hero League, sort of your mains if you had one.
your comfort picks, your good
Yep,
boys, your strong girls, all those things.
absolutely.
Does Diablo have a gender, do you think? Or is it
Um,
genderless? What do you think about that?
I think genderless probably.
Okay.
I mean, we all know men are bad, but
Yeah.
all right. So the way I want to start this out is, Tim, what are your comfort picks? And we can go to the collection here and kind of talk about them.
Okay.
So give me what you like. If you're like, I want to play Heroes of the Storm today, what character are you thinking of?
So back in the day, it was always Malfurion.
Hell
Uh,
yeah.
New Malfurion, I'm not quite as good at, but I still like him. He's still fun. I like giving mana. That even if it feels like even if I play dog shit, at least I'm helping people with mana and stuff like that.
Yep.
And I think the new way he heals is fun. I just wish it was easier because I'm stupid. Probably Lily, is definitely a comfort. I think probably the one of the main reasons why I wanted to do this whole series is so that I didn't just pick Lily over and over again, and
Mhm.
Malfurion over and over again, or supports over and over again. But pretty much
Sure.
all my main comfort people are supports. I like Lieutenant Morales. I like Kirazim. If I play it my weird way, I choose talents people don't choose. But I have fun with him. And yeah, those people. As far as like, I only have one specialist that I feel like I can pick without making people mad at me, and that's Zebo. Um,
Okay.
I like them. They're fun, but I definitely want to branch out. Obviously, I'm learning how to play Murky, but as you've probably know if you've watched any or played any
Mhm.
Heroes of Storm, he doesn't always slot in very well, is my understanding. As far as
Absolutely.
assassins, which is probably my weakest area, I used to be big on Raynor, but I haven't played new Raynor, so I don't know if I have no opinion one way or the other because I haven't done it. I feel confident-ish on Jaina. I do not believe that I'm playing her like correctly or anything like that.
Okay.
Gul'dan, I think I play decently. I don't know if I'm doing everything correctly, but uh, the past couple times I played him, I had a lot of fun, and I felt like I was doing well. But yeah, I have very few assassins. That's like, Tim, you gotta play an assassin, and you gotta win us the game, baby. Like, well, I don't know what I'm gonna do. And as far as warriors go, I mean I like Muradin because of his stuns. Again, it's
Mhm.
kind of that whole thing of even if I goof up, I feel like I'm helping. Maybe I don't know how to, um, be the head of the train for the team. I don't know how to peel well, but stunning and jumping right up in to the shit is a lot of fun. I think. Dahaka, I feel kind of somewhat comfortable with. I could be more comfortable. But
Mhm.
really, if you want to go for the short list, it'd probably be Muradin, uh, Gul'dan, Nazebo, Lily, and Morales. If I'm being honest with you right now.
Okay. And what's important about that is you have enough heroes currently to enter ranked if you wanted to.
Yeah.
I wouldn't feel super comfortable with taking that specific roster in there,
Yeah.
just because there's a lot of Muradin's a pretty high pick. It could get banned out. Gul'dan works in certain scenarios. Lily is a pretty good pick. Lily can sort of slot in anywhere. The Hawk is a good offlaner, but it's not that roster isn't wide enough for me to, feel comfortable kind of releasing you out into the wild and being like, go play ranked, go do
Okay.
it now.
Yeah.
What I want to work on today is expanding that roster a little bit. And I asked you to send me some heroes that you wanted to try out and
Yes.
wanted to learn a little bit more.
Yes.
And we'll talk about those. But I think it's something important. With all those characters you said, you're sort of playing your own mini game. In terms of being a support, especially on Malfurion, you're keeping their health bars high by putting your regrowth on them and hitting your moonfires, also while looking for opportunities to use your entangling roots.
Right.
When you're Nazebo, you're trying to get those stacks, you're trying to clear a wave effectively and make sure your poison is on each and every one of those minions as it dies for you to get better in the end.
Right.
Dahaka, you're looking for opportunities to move in. So there are all these little things that I feel like you enjoy doing while you're playing these characters. And maybe that's what we need to suss out in each of these characters. Like, here's the little tidbit of things you want to try to do while playing this one. And like a little mini game to keep you incentivized to get
For
better.
sure. Like, whenever I play Nazebo or Malfurion, the mini game I'm playing in my brain is rooting or trapping them in my circle of death, it feels like. Mm-hmm. When I play Dahaka, I'm all about dragging them with my tongue, and I yell out "blep" as I do it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the little fun thing you can kind of do, even if it's to yourself and you're not on voice comms in ranked, which you should be. But maybe you don't scream "blep" every time.
Okay.
But
I'm gonna write that down.
Really, if it's fun for you, do it. Make this game fun. Make those things interesting. And keep yourself, having fun while you're playing.
Maybe I don't yell it every time, but I definitely say it.
Yeah. I maybe scream it. Get a bullhorn and put it up, like right next to it. Go ahead.
Buy a big ass speaker and mash play on it.
Exactly. So your new roster that you sent to me.
Yes.
You sent me 3 tanks: ETC, Diablo, and Johanna.
Yes.
And then for assassins, you sent me Gul'dan, Zul'jin, Butcher, Lunara, and Jaina. And then for supports, you sent me Alex Straza, Rhaegar, and Stukov. But I want to kind of talk about Stukov right now.
Okay.
Stukov is getting a rework, and the main incentive, like the reason you played Stukov was area denial with his giant silence.
Yes.
And he's got a pretty strong heal. The thing you want in a support. I would say, though, Deckard right now does everything so much better than Stukov does. This is before his rework. We'll see what it ends up looking like.
Gotcha.
Before Stukov's rework. But I'm going to kind of talk about Deckard Cain now. Because I think he's the pick that I want you to do, because he has that little mini game of throwing potions.
Yes.
And I think you'd enjoy that more than Stukov with put out your trait and hope somebody carries it to the rest of your team. It's sort of like releasing a bird, and you're like, oh, I hope it goes the right way. Maybe it will. So I kind of modified your roster a little bit, if that's okay.
Yeah, I was looking at this. I was like, is this what I picked? Oh, okay. I don't remember anything. This is fine. I love it. I'm excited.
But if I were to talk about all these, we could talk about all these characters individually. It'd be kind of boring. I won't lie to you.
Okay, sure.
But I broke them down into 3 general categories: the all-in team, the hang-back team, and your team-dependent characters.
Okay.
So let's pull up those builds over at heroesheart.com.
I'm buying Deckard right now.
Okay, wow. Committing. I like it.
Yeah. Oh, shit. I almost bought skins for him instead of him.
The classic Storm Trap where you end up buying skins for a character you don't know.
My bad. All right. So I have Deckard now, and I have every support except for Anna. Okay, I've brought up Deckard, I brought up the Hero's Hearth, and we're looking at it, and I'm clicking on Deckard. Gave Ugly Girl a sip. Now, what does this mean?
Yep. This is in reference to a Post Malone song.
Okay.
And it's because Deckard throws a lot of potions in the lore. They sip on them. And everybody's an ugly girl in the game.
Okay, so lore is good now. I like it.
Sort of okay.
We got him to say lore is good. That's what I heard.
Lore is semi-okay. So with Deckard, here is basically how I play Deckard. I will let everybody sort of do this on their own. If you're looking for more specific, how to plays on Deckard, there's a lot of YouTube videos out there, I'm sure. I think Not Paradox has quite a good roster of videos. There's other Heroes of the Storm content creators out there on YouTube. Just go check them out. Kyle Ferguson is actually one of my absolute favorite ones. So if you're looking for more gameplay-oriented stuff, that's where you go.
Kyle Ferguson has been on a Geeklies of the Storm in the past.
Yeah, he helped Mike Bachman talk about Li Ming and a few other things. So.
Yeah, I assume all the tips are old, but probably still true at their core.
Yeah, true at their core. So what I have here is basically what I like to go and a little bit of information at the top of it. Where Deckard fits in, he falls into the team dependent. He can fit in pretty much every team. I would maybe caution away from using him with a bunch of dive characters, although he can play into that really well. The reason why is because he is very hard to kill.
Okay.
He has a slow built into his kit. He has a root built into his kit. And he can basically throw his potions on himself. And without any sort of travel time, it's almost an instant cast of a healing on Deckard himself.
Okay.
So if you are caught out and you are perchance by a friendly character, like a friendly hero, you also have 10 armor if they're close enough. So all that being said, 10 armor means 10% reduction in all damage received.
That's cool.
That's a good amount. That's a really good amount. And you can instantly throw potions on yourself to maybe run backwards and away from the bad people. And you can do that by slowing them and potentially rooting them. So Deckard fits in a lot of places. Knowing how to play Deckard is pretty easy. You set up a lot of stuff. You throw your potions out if it is, an area you have to control. And I think that's really where he shines. If you have to control an area, you have a slow that's very large, and your root is also very large. It's kind of got to wind up, but still, you're basically shutting off a path of, was that ingress? Or is that egress is leaving, ingress is coming in, right? You're shutting off a lane of traffic.
Gotcha. There you go. Perfect. Yeah, you're putting down the pylons and the construction cones, and yeah, this is one way. Let them live, let them work.
Yeah. So I would say Deckard kind of fits in everywhere that, if you need a healer, he's probably in the top tiers of healing.
Gotcha. And now that I'm going to learn how to play them, I'm happy, I'm strong. I hope everyone makes me happy.
Exactly. Other characters that fall in the team dependent one and kind of fit in anywhere are ETC.
Okay.
So we can go back and look at that.
Big beef season.
Big beef season. He is a cow. Extra tanky cow.
He's a Tauren.
Cow. Yeah. That's what I said.
Did you know that ETC is actually in World of Warcraft? They made it real. He walks around. He's in Silvermoon a lot, and he plays at the Darkmoon Fair, I believe.
Really? He actually plays like guitar?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And you can actually hear the song. And at the end of Warcraft 3, I believe he's in it. It was just funny. Anyways, go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, you're fine. So ETC has a lot of stuns built into his kit and his ability to keep the enemy team locked down. And he's dropped off a little bit in power level of keeping himself alive.
Okay.
And he also has the potential for a global, which globals are always good. If you have the opportunity to get a global within your team, I'd say take it. Dahaka, Falstad, ETC, Illidan can, although I don't recommend Illidan to anybody at this point.
And what's a global?
Global means that you can get from one end of the map to another end very quickly.
Gotcha.
They have near infinite range, basically. That means that there's a range to them, but you can quickly arrive to, say, the bottom lane from the top lane.
Gotcha.
Whereas it would take other characters a very long time to walk all the way down there.
Gotcha.
And what you want to do with globals is turn team fights. If you see it's a 4v4 well, you can use your global ability and make it a 4v5 and potentially win that.
So people are looking at the map, they see you top lane, you're like, oh, it's safe. I'm going to fight this bottom lane thing. Like, nope, here I am.
Exactly. That's exactly what you want to do with the global. So, although in this case with the ETC, you're giving up Mosh Pit, which is one of the best stuns in the game. It's a 4-second stun. It's absolutely amazing. So it depends on your play style with him. I personally prefer Mosh Pit.
Okay.
But that's me. He fits in almost everywhere. You have to really learn how to play him because he can get poked down very easily. You have an ability to give yourself armor and heal yourself. In fact, all of your abilities give you armor. So managing that does come into play there. And we can talk about that. And, that comes with experience of, okay, I'm seeing this coming out, or I know the skill shot's going to be here. I need to armor up now, sort of deal. Two other characters that play into almost every team are Lunara, and this is just from your list, Lunara and Jaina. I would say they don't necessarily require you to counter draft, spell armor and blinds, for Jaina and Lunara respectively. But they are pretty powerful when they work, and if you have kind of the faith of your team, they work great. They're fantastic. Like Lunara is very, very powerful.
Right. If
you can get your team to protect you and you don't get too thirsty and, get out of position.
Gotcha.
Because it is very easy when you're hippity hopping around out on the...
Yeah. I picked Lunara because I would see you or Brad or whomever playing her, and it was just so cool. Just like if I was paying attention to where I was and chasing down the enemy, you would just jump in, then jump out, and then if the enemy got away, they would eventually just die. I was like, okay.
That is one of the best parts when you put enough damage and poison, because Lunara does time or damage over time.
Mm-hmm.
Once you put enough that their health bar goes like low, and you're like, they're gonna die in about 2 seconds, and then you just run back to your base, and then you hear the ding of their death.
Like hell yeah!
I did that.
That was me.
I'm a fan of that.
That's funny.
So those are kind of, you just need to learn them, and then those can kind of be your, oh well, this thing got banned out. Let's pick up one of these because they fit in so easily.
Because it's no more where I'm like, okay, I can play Jaina. Not that I'm good at Jaina, but I'll try it. And now I'm like, okay, well, Jaina got banned or Jaina got picked. Now I can, try something else that are somewhat similar. Protect them; they can get hurt.
Yeah, and actually, let's go to Jaina's page because this is something that I've had to change my own playstyle on Jaina very recently.
Okay. Let it go. I get it. That's a Frozen reference. That's funny. I like it.
It is. There you go. Thank you. I always used to go like basically where my E was my most powerful ability, and I've since been proven so awfully wrong about that. Her Q is absolutely astounding if you talent into it correctly.
Okay.
And she has this great flexibility where you don't have to rely on your Blizzard, your W, that AoE thing where it rains down ice shards.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to rely on that at all to get kills anymore. It's all about your E and your Q for the most part. And then you can save your W, your Blizzard, to drop onto, minion waves and collect XP very freely.
Gotcha.
So I'd recommend those if you kind of have this idea of like, oh, I know how to play a character, but let's see what maybe Phil is doing. I would recommend checking out some of these builds that I have out here. And I can't take credit for this build. This was copied from Not Paradox, his build. He's a YouTube content creator. And basically I watched his video on, explaining it, and I was like, oh, that's very powerful. And then I took it into games and I was absolutely wrecking face with it. And I was like, oh yeah, they know what they're talking about. Hell yeah. So I'd say source information from, a bunch of other places. Like over kind of on the left-hand side, you'll look at, at least for me, it says, McIntyre's competitive build. McIntyre is a pro player. Very sort of similar to mine, but it's a little bit different. in terms of that. But McIntyre also plays at Grandmaster level and plays in the, a weekly league against other top pros. He's a pro player. Stuff they do in Pro League doesn't necessarily always match up with stuff in Gold League, like yourself do.
I think I said it before, where whenever there's a big tournament in Dota back in the day, random quick play was always monstrous because they would always just be doing things that the pros did, but the pros are very specifically like, oh, I can do this because I have 4 other people letting me do it. So
yeah. And you have like tournament metas pop up as well, Stukov initially got nerfed because of one player.
Oh yeah,
who played it so well at a tournament that like it started warranting bans in the tournament.
That's
like
so funny.
He kind of held this build until the tournament came about and played it so well that it was destroying everybody. And they're like, we got to nerf this real quick. So like the next week after the tournament, they're like, yeah, we're changing numbers. Don't worry.
That's so funny. I love when the meta changes mid tournament because teams are like, yeah, we got a secret coming in. That happens with Dota all the time.
Yeah, like Sergeant Hammer is now sort of in the pro meta. And nobody would have ever expected that, but it's huge in Korea. So let's talk about, those are your team-dependent ones. They can fit in almost anywhere.
Okay.
Let's talk about your hang-back teams.
Okay.
This is a team that maybe doesn't necessarily want to be the aggressor, more or less. These are teams that are very good for point controls.
Okay.
Because you can sort of whittle down the team as it comes about. Johanna, so good at this, just hanging back. She doesn't have a whole lot of crowd control, but when she does, she can really decimate a team and really exploit those weaknesses. And she does this because she has such a high health pool. She has ways to keep herself alive, and she can stay in it and look for those opportunities over a long period of time.
I always felt almost invincible as Johanna. With all the random stuff that she can do.
Yeah, and you will feel that way if you have, the assassins to back you up, and more importantly, the supports to back you up. Because if you have that, yeah, you do feel invincible. You feel like you can never die, and the enemy team just dies around you. That's some of the best times as Johanna. Gul'dan plays into that as well. He has damage over time abilities as well. So you're not going to burst and instantly kill one person. You're going to sort of whittle them.
Yeah. That's what I think is something that I kind of learned by just being like, I don't really have a lot of different assassins I can pick. I guess I'll pick Gul'dan. It's like, oh, I'm not, going to burst people down really fast. But since I have a weird way to get mana back and stuff like that, I'm able to just hang out for so much longer and kind of like outlast.
Yeah, and maybe with a Gul'dan, you want somebody to be that finisher. For instance, the other assassin in this team is Zul'jin. Zul'jin is very good at auto-attacking and sort of whittling people down over a long period of time. You can sort of ramp up to damage, but that comes later once you complete quests and, build stacks upon stacks. So you maybe don't want a Zul'jin and a Gul'dan because a lot of the times, if you hit all your abilities with Zul'jin and Gul'dan, they'll just walk away because there's nothing to get that final little bit of damage.
Yeah.
And you're just like, well,
all right. I guess I denied them some XP, but whatever.
Yeah. It's so what I would say with this is look for other sources of damage. I don't really ever recommend taking double mage, but it's an easy example. If you have a Li Ming where the Li Ming can basically one-shot somebody if they have, 3/4 health, well, Gul'dan's great for doing that. Gotcha. Getting them down to, 3/4 health, and then your Li Ming comes from the side and hits them with an orb, and it's like, they're gone. And you feel like you kind of contributed to that. So
yeah, it's like you're not going to get the quote-unquote, if HOTS had play of the game like Overwatch, you might not get that, but you're just being... I do love playing characters that are such a huge pain in the ass. Like, either I love supporting my fellow pals, or I love to just be annoying. Not necessarily scary per se, but like annoyingly like there's a character named Spirit Breaker in Dota, which I used to get a lot of kills with, but he has a global, as you say, where he can charge anyone on the map like almost immediately. And so if you can't see Spirit Breaker, immediately the entire team gets afraid, and they have to play differently. So Spirit Breaker is kind of both of like find a solo squishy and kill them, but on top of that, everyone's like just scared if they can't see you. So
yeah, and that's great. That's a cool way to play it. Especially with this Gul'dan build I've made that shreds some Narnar on the Fell Waves, which is a Q build.
Is this a Post Malone reference or?
Nope, this is just Narnar is a like surfer snowboarder slang.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. I think it's more snowboarder.
Gnar. Because gnarly. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it sort of plays into that. The titles of these don't make any sense. They're mostly for me. Okay.
Okay.
I gotta have some entertainment when I'm putting builds for a video game on the internet.
Hey, you do. You're a hero. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So with this one in particular, the Gul'dan build, you'll see a lot of people go with the E build, which is corruption, where you basically put out 3 circles on the ground, and if the enemy happens to run over them, then yay, you did a lot of damage.
Right.
I don't like that. I like being able to sort of, that's a little bit of a garnish on top of the Q damage I'm able to output.
Okay.
Which is a quicker travel time with less windup.
Okay.
And so there's basically no way to run from a Gul'dan Q. It travels so quickly that you're just like, well, guess I got hit by it.
Yeah.
Whereas if this loud, giant purple, things are hitting the ground, you're like, I'm going to stay away from that.
Yeah, and you see the first one popping up, and you see the red circle already on the ground. You're like, okay, time to move away. Just don't stand here. Gotcha.
Exactly. And so you're trying to play with those. You're trying to figure out, a smart team will learn not to stay in that. And then your team will try to be smart and try to keep them in that.
Yeah.
Those giant corruption orbs, I guess, or balls, whatever they're called on the ground. So there's a little bit of play and counterplay there, which I appreciate in the game. However, I just like the Q because it's a little bit more consistent damage over time.
Yeah, and it can hit more people too. It can wave clear, right? Is that true?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Oh, I was like, Tim, just say it. Don't be afraid. I feel like you're right. Let's just go with it. Just like you said the wrong Twitter name, it's okay to be wrong sometimes.
It's okay. And I won't yell at you until we get in game, and then in which case I will yell at you.
Yay.
And then another healer that is good for sort of those hangbacks and sustains is Alex Straza, and I'm just realizing now I don't have a build for Alex Straza. But yeah, she has very good control of certain areas, and that's mostly due to her trait, where she turns into a giant ruby dragon and breathes fire that hurts your enemies and heals you. And heals your team, and also basically makes her AoE heal a very large circle that it's almost impossible to miss people of your team.
Yeah.
So
Alex Straza's fun.
She is. She's a lot of fun. She's very impactful when she uses her abilities correctly, and so it's very fun to experience that and play that. I am not good with Alex Straza, so I'll let other people enjoy playing that.
Yeah, I definitely feel like I am not healing as well as I should be. Like, I'm going to play my good support healer, Fred, Alex Straza, and I'm like, all my friends are going to die and they're going to get mad at me.
Exactly. So those are your hangback teams. Those are good for controlling points.
Gotcha.
For finding opportunities over a long period of time. The inverse of this is your all-in teams. The people that sort of rely on you to go in and get that kill the second somebody messes up.
Okay.
Little bit of a higher skill cap, I would say, in recognizing what you need to do on the map to affect that change. If you happen to have, say, a Gul'dan as a Diablo, and the Gul'dan's like getting everybody low, okay, well, now I can charge in because I know I can basically do enough damage or manipulate that character enough to ensure that damage goes out.
So it's kind of like, instead of saying, all right, we're going to show up to the the map objectives ready to do good. The other opportunistic ones are like, before it's time to go to objective, we want to make sure the other team is in a worse place than we are.
Absolutely. And one of my favorite things to do as Diablo is gather my whole team as the objectives, like, 15 seconds until the shrines spawn. I sit in bushes and I just like hide and wait for that lowly, I don't know, Genji to be walking by, and then I just like ram him into a wall, flip him over, throw some fire at his face, and then like hopefully the rest of my team comes in and kills him. And then it's a 4v5.
Yeah.
Sure, we use some mana and some abilities on killing that Genji and potentially some health, but at the same time, you're like, well, now we have an advantage, and you can sort of snowball that advantage, more and more if you play them correctly.
Right. And it's like, well, what if you're fighting this Gul'dan team and Genji was the man that would actually help Gul'dan do kill? And well, now Gul'dan, he's still good, but he's not going to have his buddy that can, make him to justify him there.
Precisely. Yeah. The damage you take can potentially be healed up by your support, or, in more of a specific use case, Gul'dan loses health every time he uses mana, if you think about it that way.
Yeah.
And so the more he puts out basically damage that's pointless, the lower his health pool gets. Tied to that is Butcher. Like I was saying in the previous episode, I play the least thirsty Butcher in the universe. Basically, I look for a kill once somebody gets low enough that I know I can guarantee the kill with my charge. There is some other management with things, like with Diablo, you're managing your souls and how much health regen you have. And like healing wells and health orbs are very important to that character, specifically Diablo. So that's something you'll need to learn, and we can teach you over time. And then with the Butcher, managing your Butcher's brand or your mark and healing off that specific character.
Okay.
So the way Butcher works is you basically dive in, you put your Butcher's mark on a specific character, and anytime you hit damage on that character through a basic attack, you heal yourself for a certain percentage of that. Very good. Very powerful.
Oh.
If you go in and blow up a character and there's nobody else around and you're under a tower, you have no way to heal.
Gotcha.
So you need to make sure that you're managing your own health pool, you're managing the location that your charge will complete in, and you're also managing if you have a team behind you to help you get out.
Gotcha.
And Butcher also has like a baked-in quest where once he gets 200 meat, which you get 1 meat from every minion and 5 meat from every hero kill. Once you get 200, you basically can't lose any meat at all, and your auto attacks become insane.
Okay.
And they can continue to stack after you get more hero kills and more hero kills. And if you do it properly, you can absolutely carry a game and change the entire battlefield just by you being there.
It's
or
like
change a team fight by you arriving.
It's like Butcher has come online, time the damage commences.
Exactly. And playing Butcher before that quest is complete is extremely different than playing Butcher after that quest completes.
That's the closest to how Dota works in my brain, because in Dota you're babysitting a baby who can't do anything, and then all of a sudden it's like farming complete, time to murder, and that's how we would just play games all the time. That was protect so-and-so on his anti-mage as he farms for 45 minutes, and then on the 46th minute, he literally can't die, and we just win the game, even though we've been losing up until that point.
Yep. It's very fun. I enjoy Butcher quite a bit the more I've been playing him recently. And then we get to Rhaegar, who's a unique case because it's a support, so anytime you sort of charge in towards, multiple enemies as a support is usually kind of bad.
Yeah.
However, Rhaegar can sort of do it. He has a high enough health pool and a good amount of mobility and damage tied to that in order to be able to do that. My specific build is more healing oriented because as a support, that's what people are expecting me to do. And so there's a few different things I like to take in here. Healing Totem, it's an AoE heal, so I don't have to be as direct with mine.
Okay.
Cleanse to get people out of, crowd control abilities. Ancestral healing is such a good amount of healing. A little bit, kind of overshadowed by Alex Strauss's ult now, Lifefinder.
Yeah.
But numbers change overall. But if you can learn to hit an ancestral and know the timing with it, you can turn team fights absolutely.
Yeah, it's whenever I've used it correctly, it definitely feels like you are changing the entire tide of a fight. Like everyone burns all their abilities to bring down your good buddy, and then like, nope, I timed it well enough that I was able to get him back. Sorry.
Yeah. And so I would say the way to play Rhaegar is be the buddy for the dive. Don't necessarily be the only diver.
Mm-hmm.
You want to go in like behind the butcher and get a slow on them. And, if the butcher happens to miss the, a few auto attacks with the brand is on it, be there to pump out the extra heals and keep him alive, essentially. Yeah. So Rhaegar is your diving buddy, not necessarily your only diver.
Gotcha.
And you can play Rhaegar very safely if you want to as well. I'm not saying as Rhaegar instantly dive every single time.
Mm-hmm.
You can just hang back and be perfectly acceptable.
Yeah, and like you don't always have to be Ghost Wolf punching 24/7.
Yeah. That being said, Rhaegar's heals are very slow. And normally you get one good one plus your ancestral before you're sort of out of gas, and you're like, well, hopefully we can win.
Yeah. It's definitely a different way to approach it. Of like, I'm not going to be able to constantly heal. I have to use my heal at the right time, as opposed to if your heal's on cooldown, heal somebody. Seems harder to keep everyone topped off as him.
So let's see. Would you like to play an unranked draft game now?
Sure.
Okay. So let's pick one character that you're going to sort of play. Actually, let's do two. Let's do one from the all-in and one from the team dependent.
Okay.
And we'll have you sort of pick those. We'll read about them, or have you read about them specifically, and figure out what we're kind of going to do with this.
Gotcha. Okay. Well,
so you're going to play one of those two, and then I'll fill from there and help kind of guide our team towards that.
Gotcha. Let's do ETC.
Okay.
And do I want to do Deckard since I've never played him, or should I wait?
I think Deckard's fine. I think Deckard's good.
Okay.
So ETC or Deckard? That's good.
Yeah. Does that work?
I think that works. So let's start with ETC. We're going to hit ready up on this, actually.
Okay.
We'll look at ETC. So I have his level 1 as Prog Rock, which it's a globe quest that there's no intermediate benefit to it.
Oh.
You basically, it doesn't do you any good until you hit 20 globes.
Okay, gotcha. Because some of the other quests are like, yeah, every time you do blah, you do get some benefit. This is like all or nothing. Gotcha.
Yeah. I mean, it gives you some 5 health over a second. That's not that much. It's not really that great. But once you get 20 globes, then your heal affects allied heroes.
Whoa.
Yeah. So it's 5 extra health for every globe. Kind of cool. Yay. But really where it comes in is later it helps everybody.
Gotcha.
Else out. And that's the reason why you take it.
I love that you have to take it right at level 1. It's like, all right, here's what we're doing.
Yep. And so that is going to be your kind of objective, is you're going to clear the wave, mostly the wizard minion at the center, to get that globe, mount up, and sort of look for other opportunities. The way you have to play ETC is not as frontline. I like to play him on his mount, kind of hanging out basically in the same line as an assassin or a support.
Okay.
And just waiting for the enemy team to mess up.
Okay.
You got to wait and look for that opportunity to where you power slide on them. You get a body block, because if you time it correctly, they'll be stunned and you can walk up next to them and use your body to stop their character from moving through it.
Yeah.
And then once they kind of start getting around you, that's when you can use your W, which is a face melt, and knocks people backwards away from you. So from there, you're getting sort of a second crowd control that pushes them towards your characters. And if any of their buddies have come up to help them, you're pushing them away as well.
Gotcha.
So you're creating a lot of space with ETC as a character.
Yeah, he's
And
incredibly frustrating to play against, so I'm excited to learn how to combo it up.
Mm-hmm. I played one game as Diablo against an ETC and a Kael'thas that ruins my life because Diablo is not unstoppable when he charges in.
Uh-huh.
So I was just getting ping-ponged around by those two waiting to use their crowd control. Perfectly timing like all the opportunities.
Yeah.
It was the most frustrating game I've ever played in my life. And it was also the game where I left and was like, damn. That was really good.
Gotta give it up. Gotta give it up.
Yep.
Yeah, that's when the bad guys use their stuff against you in a smart way. Whew, it can be a lot. All right.
Okay.
So
we are last picks here.
Golly beans. But you're captain. That's nice. All right. So I should be clicking ETC and then who did I say the other person? Oh, Deckard. Okay.
Yeah.
Right?
So I would
Just let
say
them know?
mostly show ETC right now.
Okay.
There you go.
Like, hey,
So
everybody.
that kind of that informs the team that you're looking to play a tank.
Okay, so I need to have a backup tank in case it gets snatched, right?
No, in this case, I will pick up a tank
Okay.
while you pick a healer if it is one of those deals.
Oh God.
That's on me. I'm bad at ban Asmo Daniel. You got a Junkrat and a Zul'jin. Ooh.
Okay. Greymane. I don't like Greymane because of the lore. Well, he's fine, I guess.
He's okay.
Kael'thas. That's not Junkrat.
It's not.
But I respect it.
Yeah. Let's see here. Looks like I'm going to need support, which is not my favorite, but okay. And you know what? I'll probably ship Deckard as well. Because that's just going to help you out in the long run.
What a cute boy that is. Oh, no.
Let's see if the team listens. Mostly this Greymane. We don't need 3 assassins.
Come on, Greymane. CG Hill. Come on, baby. 8 seconds. Okay.
All right. So ETC in this case is a little bit harder to do because
should I do like
controlled a lot.
Should I do like Johanna?
Yeah, so I'm gonna have you. Yeah, Johanna would be good. And basically, why we switched to Johanna is you don't have any other friendly people up there. Ban Cho.
Or Gall. Ban Gall. Make him only play Cho.
I'll listen to the team. I don't think this is very true, but
sometimes listening to your T is worth it just for the morale.
Exactly. Yeah, these people would have been very mad at me. Also, I'm not seeing anything that I'm truly scared of on the.
Okay.
Nothing would slot in super well for what they showed already.
Yeah.
For me to be like, oh no, we can't ban Cho'Gall. What about this?
Yeah.
There's nobody on that team that I'm like, oh no, I'm so scared. That banning Cho'Gall or Cho in this case was okay.
All right, I'm locking in Johanna, right?
Go ahead, lock it in.
Well, what outfit do I want? Yeah, that one's good. What mount? Okay, that one. Lock in, baby.
There you go. So the reason why we switched off of ETC is you were going to get controlled very easily. Basically, the Falsehead was going to poke you down. In this case, the Tyrande, which we didn't know at the time, would have poked you down. You would have taken a lot of incidental damage from the Blaze. and we wouldn't have enough control for our Kael'thas, Greymane, and Zul'jin.
Right.
We wouldn't be able to control the enemy team enough for them to, stay safe and stay alive. So Johanna's a little bit of a better pick in this case, where you can hang back and let them sort of do their thing until you need to go in.
Gotcha. And this map, this is the new map. So is this good for us?
It's okay. I think it's a pretty healthy map. It's a pretty good one for me for area control. Kael'thas has that as well, and then hopefully Kael'thas and Zul'jin can prep the kills while our Greymane goes and bites their faces off. That's what I'm hoping for.
That's what I'm hoping for, at least.
I'm gonna run and use the restroom real quick before the game absolutely starts.
Jeez. Run, fool. Hold your ground. Little good lucks have funs to make everyone happy.
The hunt begins in 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Justice will be done.
Phil's not here. My God. Uh-oh.
We got revenge for you. Sorry, Tim, I wasn't there to heal you.
It's okay, man. They really hit me hard. I should have hit D, and I didn't hit D, and that's on me.
But that's also something to learn from now on.
Yeah.
Don't go in without your healer.
Oops.
Yeah, see? He's touching the ground. He's feeling good.
He loves it.
Yeah, so notice what I'm kind of doing right now with Deckard is I'm throwing out a bunch of potions sort of in the main lanes and letting everybody else pick them up as they sort of need be. I'll have, like, the cooldown is short enough that I can just sort of throw them. And you can also breadcrumb your teammates being like, no. If you want to go there, if you want heals, you got to come back.
I love it.
Yeah.
Like, don't go there. Fuck. Oh, you're gonna die.
Yep, there's no way I could save him. Just back up now since we don't have any damage.
They're poking me. Youch.
Yep. Yeah, just walk back to tower range. Yeah, so like you were kind of hanging out in no man's land.
Okay.
And especially against the Stitches, it's bad. You can draw them back into tower range, so you make them make a choice of like, do I hit this person or do I not?
Yeah.
Right there, she was just getting free damage on you, and I can't super heal that up well, or it costs me a lot of mana to heal it up. That's one kill.
Yes.
We'll take it. That's what I love.
Yeah.
Should we go help him?
You guys, actually, you stay in lane. I
Okay.
can help him. Yeah, I just want to get that XP.
And since you dropped some healings, you know, Stitches is gone. They're all going. They're all leaving me.
Why not?
Ouch! 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 Ouch!
All right, cool. Let's pull back and go the safe way around here. And then I'm basically going to do the same thing. I'm going to sort of prep this area and get a bunch of heals out until we get our whole team up here.
Okay.
Or look for opportunities. Yeah.
We're just playing safe, having fun, playing the video game, laughing,
Yeah.
making new friends.
Plus we have a camp mid. Watch the hook. Okay, there's Kalthas. I didn't know what he was doing. Bummer.
It,
We should
hap-
advance.
it
Yeah,
happens
yeah.
sometimes, you know?
He's got to tap a well. So go ahead and draw this attention. There's nothing we could have really done there. I mean, we pinged that we were going to do this sort of stuff. Maybe dead here.
No, never.
Oh, massive. Back up. Yeah. Keep running.
Alright, I gotta go to
The Alliance is
Hole.
taking our camp. Push them out and reinforce the lock. We've driven the Alliance from our camp. Well
Oh
done.
no. Seems like there's no reason for me to.
Yeah, not really. We can get this camp, though. That'll help counter push. Oh, well.
Why do you do that?
You know, who knows?
He's hungry. I respect it.
It's kind of tough when both of us are like support characters. You know,
Yeah.
you being a tank and me being support. Like we can't really direct these. You can't really hurt these cats to not go in and do all this stuff because we're not playing in a 5-stack. But
Yeah.
that's what you're going to experience as a solo queue warrior
Yeah,
or hero.
It's a good thing to learn, you know.
Yeah. Then we're going to rotate up and help top out.
Okay.
We should maybe help out Bob. I'm going to go help out Bob. He hasn't seen us in a while, and I kind of want to scope out what skills he's got as a gray main, honestly. Alright, get back on my horse. I'm gonna help the switch in.
Yes. Taking out our cavalry won't win you the war, Deckard.
Yep. Yeah, we should go top. They have 10, so we want to be a little careful. Nice.
I didn't even have to hit my D that time.
Which you wouldn't normally when they're trying to leave.
I love to hit my abilities, you know?
I mean, I get it, I guess. Oh, no, this is bad. I'm getting left in a lane.
Choose a talent.
Yeah, do stay a while. I don't really like Lornado all that much.
Cool. All right, now I have a shield that I can throw to stun people.
Thank God. Okay. Whew. Yeah, we can help him out.
We have lost the fort. Bad night be damned.
I probably shouldn't waste it because they're going to get away regardless.
I mean, that particular character, like, he has a lot of leaps. Oh, no. This is a peel.
Ouch, ouch, ouch.
Yep, we're pretty much dead. Yeah, they did a better job of collapsing on us than we did on collapsing on them. It's a bit of a bummer.
Bummer. Bummer is what I say.
Yeah, It's a little unfortunate. Our Greymane is just chilling in bottom lane. I don't blame him because the Blaze is still down there. But yeah, the Scalefoss is playing a teensy bit aggressive.
He mad?
Yeah, playing like he's in a 5-man. He's not.
I respect it.
All right, yeah.
Why not?
I love the fight too, so I respect.
I think we should fight now because the Falstead's off. Yeah, let's try to do this.
Keep fighting Kalefoss.
We must keep the Alliance away from the cage.
Flush shield.
Sorry.
I don't really have heals for you right now.
Phil, I think we're gonna lose, but you know,
Yeah.
I love to learn, and sometimes you learn more from a loss, right? Right?
I mean, potentially. I mean, it's come team. We need to fight together. He's correct. However, there we could have just gotten the objective. He chose to 1v1 in a very bad spot because of this bridge right here.
Mm-hmm.
It's like very bad for us. Blaze has a lot of AoE. Stitches has an AoE on his ultimate. Falstead with Hinterland Blast. Like, it's just a bad place to fight. We didn't tell him that ahead of time, so there was no way to sort of know that, but it's nevertheless true. All right, so there should be a free clear. All right, now Kalefoss has a little bit of survivability, which is good. Greymane's going top. We should just burn down bottom since we're here, and then we'll rotate up to mid. And see how I'm kind of using, like, those are damaging abilities.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of using them ahead of that because I want the Falstead to make a choice. The Falstead either had to come towards us or go away.
Right.
Either
So
one would have been fine with me.
you used it as a defensive.
Yep. Ooh, he got away just in time. We should leave, though. So try to be in front of this Kalefoss. He's making a lot of interesting decisions, but try to be ahead of them, like mounted up and ahead of them.
Mm-hmm.
So you can sort of follow up on what he wants to do. I got a heal in one.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, you're breaking up a little bit. I don't know if it's my internet or what. Wow, I have a second extra ability. Wow. Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, it was kind of robot-y for me.
Robot for me too. I wonder what it was. Maybe.
Yeah, probably just connection issues on my end.
It happens, you know.
Yeah, I got that really bad internet, so. Doing the fun thing where I don't even follow my own build.
That's funny. Like, you know what? Fuck it.
I
haven't done my quest like at all.
Which is fine. It's a good quest if you happen to do it. Oh, we gotta go.
Too late, or oh gosh.
Just back out. Oh, good. He put it on the tank. That's exactly where I wanted all that damage to go.
No.
I'm dead here.
Ah!
Yeah, it's poor positioning on my part, but it's all good.
I hate Stitches too, but you know, it happens.
You know, that's the point of the character is basically to pull me away. And
Yeah.
make me, you know.
It's like, oh, you think
kill
you're
me
safe?
instantly?
No, you're not. You absolutely are not.
Yeah, you are very bad.
It happens.
Very bad. You know, and that's okay.
And it takes 1,000 hours to be good at anything, is what I think.
Ooh, does it? That's
I think it's actually like 10,000 hours.
Oh gosh, that's even worse.
Yeah, it's fun.
That
to
number
think
I like less.
It's higher. What's that noise?
That was the boss. There's a weird missile at everybody.
I like Drekthar a lot. Jesus, tap dancing Christ.
I've never heard the tap dancing portion.
Alright. I've heard titty fuck. Oops. Shit!
Oops, shit, titty fuck.
I feel
Right, well, I mean, we have potential now. Still not 20s, but you know that'll be okay.
Phil, is everyone mad at me?
No.
Are you mad at me?
I think if at anything, everybody is mad at me.
Now that I'm okay with.
All right, I'm gonna channel. Yeah, you're doing the Lord's work. Just stay in it. Nice. Please come up here, team. Wait, did you just bark at them?
I said ow.
Oh, it sounded like a bark, though.
Ow, fire! No! I should have stepped on that thing. Piss!
Does Blaze die here? Blaze does die. It's good.
Raid boss down.
Oh, 3 seconds. Dang. Yeah, they can pretty much just win this one.
Now,
Which I'm personally excited for.
now should we start blaming the rest of the team now? Really let them know, or what's the story here?
You haven't been doing that? Because I have.
Okay, I mean in all chat to be like, noob, Greybane, no treat for doggy, things of that nature. You know, you really get into the lore of it. Yeah.
Get good.
Ever read a book, nerd?
So I think what we can kind of suss out from this, Karazim's numbers were pretty high for healing. Tyrande was also very high, so that was the secondary support. What you can kind of gain from this, the fact that Falstead has not died at all, is that we're maybe not doing the best to select targets.
Yeah. Yeah, this fucking Pudge, Stitches, is being a huge piece of shit, and I hate him.
Uh-huh. And he's very deceiving, as his health will look very low, and then he'll heal for, I think it's 20% of his max HP. Yeah. Which is very high. I think it's highest in the game.
Oh, yeah?
I think so, if I remember.
I'll tell you what, I fucking hate that shit.
Back up.
I feel like there's nothing we can do.
Yep. Yeah, it was kind of a bad fight overall.
Yeah. I hope they win now.
Yeah, I do too.
I think they're gonna.
I think they can do it. Ooh, bad team. Interesting. Yeah, a lot of the choices made by our assassins
Damn.
were questionable. We didn't really... it's rough to hear, but...
I mean, they're not wrong. I mean,
Yeah, they also picked a 3 assassin comp into, these... into a double tank with, very high amounts of damage. Because essentially what Tyrande does is increase the damage by 25%.
Yeah.
With her Hunter's Mark. And they can pour on CC very easily. Stitch's Hook, the Blaze charges in and hits somebody. Tyrande follows up with CC. We didn't have any of that necessarily. We had a little bit, but it was kind of tough to, figure out a plan because nobody was on the same page.
Right.
We were running in assuming we were a 5 when our Greymane wasn't there for a while, and then the Zul Jin walked in to try to stop the camp from, contesting during the Alterac Pass, like that first objective, and then spaced out deaths, like when we were coming back.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of, and do you support that decision? Probably not. You just let them die.
Yeah. Even though they're going to get mad if you let them die, but the right thing to do is let them die, but now they're tilted. Oh, that's how it is.
Yeah, so there's some stuff to gain, but overall, what I would look back if we were going to review that is, did I play my character well enough? I did not, I'll be honest.
I don't think I did either.
Yeah, so I missed quite a few heals. I felt like my scrolls and my W, like my slows and my roots, were pretty good. I don't quite have the travel time of potions down yet. And also with a Stitch's Hook, there's nothing I can do to heal that up, basically. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
well,
those are the kind of things you look for at the end of a match. Is like, what could I do better?
Yeah, it's fun to blame the team for sure, but you're not going to get better if you always blame the team.
Yeah, it's definitely the easiest route. The route I take the most often.
I respect it. Yeah.
So
well, this has gone on. This is a longer one. Phil, do you have any final words?
No, I would basically say find the characters that you like and you want to play. Read a little bit more about them. Try to come up with builds. Look for synergies within talents. And specifically find talents that you enjoy doing. And, I'm really good at this. Let's try doing more of this because it makes it better. Sometimes that doesn't work. I had, for instance, a Gul'dan that did a Drain Life build with Reign of Destruction. Don't do that necessarily. It's a very odd build. It's
like you had to try it at least once,
No.
No? Okay.
No, sure. You really didn't. So yeah, I would say make wise choices. Look for other resources out there on the net if you are kind of questioning anything. But also just read the talents, read the abilities, figure out what you like to do.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for
Absolutely.
Driving this jalopy through the world that is Heroes of Storm. But it looks like we are out of gas, and the world's largest ball of twine is on the next stop. So we got to pull over, right?
Yeah, got to cross that off our bucket list.
For sure. Thank you so much, Phil. Where can people find you on the net?
On Twitter, I am at Canada_Phillip, CANADA_PHILLIP.
Perfect. And I'm at Tim Lanning. Find more of the stuff we do over at twitch.tv/Geekly Inc., where we're streaming this live, or see all the other videos over at youtube.com/Geekly Inc. Thank you so much, and have a good day. Bye.